Yeah.
We got to get to this because I do think, even though the news has come out that it's not super serious, what happened to Grant Delpit yesterday is worth mentioning. You guys haven't seen the play yet, so Steve, we can take tag word and play it. But Grant Delpit.
Oh, there's been an update in the last half hour?
Yeah, Mary Kay said he's in practice, or he's watching practice right now. But this is the play of the collision. If anyone missed it, there's Delpit on the ground. You could see Ryan Julian's the receiver. He's going to break out of his cut and boom. Right into
that was
Delpit.
pretty stupid.
Ryan Julian will be cut today.
I'm cutting Ryan Julian. What is he doing?
Yeah.
Well, I think that was the route. I think that's a genuine.
And how did Grant Delpit not see him coming? That's what I don't understand.
And what's up? He was following that tight end.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you can't be hitting a guy like that in practice.
Well, I don't think it was intentional.
Yeah,
I don't think it was intentional either, but it doesn't matter.
I'm getting.
He went
Pack
to
your
run
bags.
He went like. See,
You're back at Dillard's tomorrow.
listen,
So,
you
according to
can't
Mary
have
Kay,
that.
just so
You
we're on
can't
the
have
same
that.
page.
Yeah.
And Steve, this is graphic. I should have told you to get this right. This is 210. But Delpit, it's a right forearm injury.
Yeah.
He was listed as day-to-day, expected to be back for the opener. He was seen at practice today.
So there's really no
Based on
story
that
there.
collision, I would not have guessed forearm.
But my question to you guys is, Delpit has not had the most stellar record of health. He missed all of his rookie season with a torn Achilles.
Yep.
Missed games here and there in college. I believe he missed a game or two last year with injury. If this does become more serious, we find out that he doesn't make it back in time, or if he gets hurt at any point in the season, how big of a loss would it be to lose Grant Delpit for a prolonged period for the Browns?
By the way, Grant Delpit did not miss a game last year. He missed 2 games in 21. So
That's
he's
what
only
it
missed
was,
2
sorry.
games the last 2 years. So that's good. I mean,
I actually think the Browns have enough talent in the
Yeah, I don't
secondary
think it's
to
that big a
withstand
deal.
it. I think it's a bigger deal for Grant Delpit. This is a big year for Grant Delpit.
yeah, absolutely.
Rodney Hickman, I like him.
Yeah.
McLeod, he's a veteran. They be fine back
Now,
there.
let's face it. You and Earl were freaking out over the 4th and 5th defensive tackles a couple of weeks ago, getting hurt.
Well, now they've just
Now you don't even care
now
about
now they've upgraded.
Yeah.
They've upgraded.
Earl was in a full-blown panic over
So
it.
that was the defensive end. They've upgraded, and they've gotten better. But in the secondary, I like Hickman. And I don't think even if it ain't Hickman, D'Anthony Bell, I like him.
I have always felt this way as a fan, is that as long as my quarterback's healthy, I can live with any other injury. It sucks, but it's part of football. Guys get hurt. Everybody thinks their team's got it the worst. They probably don't. Obviously, there's one team every year that's got it the worst, but it's probably not your team that, odds. As long as your quarterback is healthy, I can overcome probably any other injury. Now, there's a couple other guys that if they're out for the season, it's a deal. But unless it's the quarterback, I can survive with any other loss. I really believe that. I believe that with the Bengals as a fan. I believe it with the Browns as a fan.
If Jamar Chase goes down,
It sucks.
I'm just messing with you.
But when he missed 4 games last year, whatever
Yeah,
it was,
yeah.
I think they won 3 of the 4.
Well, who was it?
That idiot DB coach. We
I was
talked about it
just
the other
gonna
day.
go there.
Who?
Was
The Browns DB coach or whoever it was.
Oh, Lord.
Who said, well, it kind of hurt us when he went down or whatever it was.
I think one of the best receivers
Yeah.
that came off the field. It messed us up.
I think it was actually T. Higgins, maybe.
Jeff Howard was defensive
Yeah.
backs
King of
coach.
Christmas.
Like that, he should have been fired at that moment.
I mean, he said it with a straight face.
That was
Yeah.
one of the most amazing
Oh,
things.
my God.
That was amazing.
But
Really?
it's like, yeah, you never want any of your star players to get hurt.
Right.
But you can survive anything but the quarterback, I think, when you have a top quarterback.
I'm trying to think of a player besides a quarterback that they got hurt. You'd be like, oh, it's a wrap for them.
I mean, T.J. Watt really messed up the Steelers last year, but
Right.
they don't have an elite quarterback.
But think about this. Like, the second most important player on the Browns is probably Myles Garrett, right? Is that fair?
Yeah.
You agree with that, or does anybody
Yes.
disagree with that? If Myles Garrett had a season-long injury, it'd be bad. Mm-hmm. But are you saying, season over? I'm not.
No.
No. Do I like the Browns' chances as much without him? Of course not. But as long as I got Watson, if he's back to the quarterback we think he's going to be, I still got a shot. I still got a shot.
you
As
still
bad
got a-
as the
you got a
Garrett
shot.
loss would be, and it would be
You got a
bad, I still got a shot as long as I got my quarterback.
Yep, I agree.
Especially now, everybody's saying you said it yesterday. You think the Browns might have the best D line in football.
I do.
I get it. Myles Garrett is the number one reason why. But let me ask you this question: If you had to choose, this is a crazy one, kind of like the one I gave you, Red. If you had to choose, which defensive line would you rather have the Browns have? Their defensive line with last year with Myles Garrett and a bunch of piles of trash, or this year's defensive line with no Myles Garrett.
This year.
That's easy.
Easy. This year.
This year.
Jason, you in agreement on that too?
This one is goofier than I like the other question. This one's goofy.
one's goofy?
I'll say this year.
And that's the point. It's like, but if Deshaun Watson gets hurt, it's over.
Deshaun Watson gets hurt, that DTR bandwagon's going to be full, baby.
That's it.
Standing
it.
room only on the DTR bandwagon.
I could tell you, any other player on the Browns gets hurt, I don't write off the playoffs.
Right.
Same thing with the Bengals. Even Jamar Chase, as bad as that'd be bad.
That'd be real
It'd
bad.
be really bad.
But
But if Jamar Chase gets hurt, I'm not writing off the playoffs.
If Jamar Chase
But if
get
Joe
hurt,
Burrow or Deshaun Watson miss, it's over. I'm not watching this. If Joe Burrow was out for the year, I'm not watching I'm watching the Bengals play twice this year against the Browns. That's it.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Why would I watch Trevor Siemian? They can't win with him. By the way, the Bengals should sign Carson Wentz. Honestly, as bad as I think he is,
That's the most ludicrous take you've ever had.
he's better than Trevor Siemian.
No, he's not.
Trust me.
No, trust me.
Well, whatever. Maybe not Carson Wentz. They should sign somebody because Trevor Siemian can't play.
I'll give you that. Carson Wentz is lost in a soup.
Yeah, Carson Wentz is a clown, and he doesn't really believe in himself. Whatever. Sign Jameis Winston. No, he's not.
But it goes
sign
back.
Cam Newton. I'd rather have Cam Newton.
But it
Now,
goes
you could
back.
trade.
It goes back to the Colts when they had Peyton Manning. If you had Jim Sorgi as your backup because if Manning goes down,
Right.
your season's
It's
it doesn't
over.
matter who the backup is. You're screwed.
That's right.
So that's kind of where
It's very
where they are.
rare that you have a situation like in Philly where Nick Foles went on that run.
Right.
Like the idea of winning with your backup quarterback, that ain't happening. That's a once in a million thing.
Jeff Hostetler,
I was just thinking
That was 100 years ago.
Yeah. So that's two examples in the last 40 years.
Right.
Frank Reich.
Brock
Frank
Purdy.
Reich.
Well, they didn't win the Super Bowl though.
Yeah, they won a playoff game. That was
But
crazy.
wasn't Jim Kelly back after that? I thought he came back in those playoffs. Frank Reich,
Reich did that big
comeback
right?
against the Oilers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Real quick, last thing on Delpit, then we'll move to 32 and 32
Yeah.
before Darren Smith comes in. Obviously, or hopefully, I shouldn't say obviously. It appears he's okay. It appears he'll be back day-to-day
Yeah.
forearm. The collision was whatever. Jalen Wayne got to get out of the way. Are you a little worried just about his ability in a contract year to be on the field as much as the Browns are going to need him to?
Nah,
Or is it
I mean, like
too
you said-
early and his track record too erroneous to factor in here?
That's on him.
He's only missed 2 games. He missed 2 games in 21 and none last year. He had the Achilles injury. That's kind of a freak thing. I'm not worried about it. I don't really worry about injury. I mean, there's certain guys who are hurt all the time. I wouldn't put him in that
He knows
category.
what's at stake. He knows he needs to be on
Yeah,
the
I'm not
field.
worried about it.
And I mean, when the last time, like the days, I don't know if this is true, but it feels like the days of impact safeties are gone. Like, you can't, like, think about it. Back in the day, you used to, the way you tackled, the way you went about being intimidating back there.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, well, you got to have ball skills. Like,
Yeah.
you got to be jumping at.
Well, think about Troy Polamalu. Like you talk about T.J. Watt. Troy Polamalu, like as he went, the Steelers went.
Yeah.
In
Yes.
his days. They have Minkah Fitzpatrick now in Pittsburgh. Like, he's a good player. This Jesse Bates was a good player in Cincinnati. But I don't think safeties are all that.
like
I'm with you.
Earl Thomas, and you had Ed Reed and
I
some
don't
of
think
those
safeties
guys.
are worth paying huge money to.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it, but
Yeah.
I guess I agree. I think I agree.
Yeah. I think the Browns spent the right amount of money on Thornhill.
Give me
$6 million.
a solid guy back
I just need
there.
a solid guy, yeah.
That can make tackles and know what to do.